right, this is it. IOBA. My name is TC. So, first, before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my oldest son, Eric. He's a writer, very good writer. And tomorrow, I think, is his 47th birthday. So, shout out. Hey. IOBA, my name is TC. So, I'm sitting here thinking, right, about the DEI program and the mass deportation and, the shit that really needs to be talked about right now. And I remember when the Republicans brought in, turn this motherfucking light on. I remember when the Republicans brought in, when the Democrats brought in all these. I'm thinking about the Democratic policy on immigration and that open door policy it seems like they had when all them people was coming up from the South and coming into Texas and the Democrats for a long time now didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, they put forth some legislation and the Republicans shot it down because the Republicans wanted it to fail. So a whole bunch of people came in. And the Democrats, with their sanctuary cities and their DACA programs and all of that, started to build up a buffer class. And that buffer class was meant to replace that black vote. That's what happens. That's my theory, based on what I saw happening. The Democrats was allowing pathways to citizenship. Like I said, they had the DACA program. Of course, there was birthright citizenship, which was a whole goddamn hustle all by itself. And I ain't saying it's wrong for people from other parts of the world to come here and take advantage of that. I'm really not. Because the world belongs to everybody. It really does. But that ain't what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the laws and how they're written and how people take advantage or, use these laws to their advantage. Anyway, I'm digressing. The Democrats was building a buffer class because they know that black voters like myself are starting to ask for shit for our vote. We're starting to exercise our power. 87% of black men voted for Kamala Harris. 87%. I voted for her ass myself. I didn't vote for her because she promised me anything. I voted for her because I didn't think Donald Trump was fit to be president. And she was the only other choice we had other than Joe Biden. And he had dropped out. I was going to go with Cornel West until I thought my vote could be more useful behind Kamala Harris. And that's the truth. But the Democrats thought they was building up a goddamn buffer class that they could use when the black people started asking for stuff. And it was working for a while. I'm going to tell you, it was working for a while. But see, what they didn't know was a lot of the people that came in, a lot of the people that came up from down south, in them South American and Central American countries, when they get here and they get it together, and even the Caribbean, when they get it together, they lean towards the Republican Party. Because a lot of times, and I'm choosing my words carefully, so I don't want nobody to get nothing fucked up. A lot of times, they don't like the black people in the countries that they came from. A lot of times. Just saying. You go to South America, Central America, and the black people in those countries are at the bottom of the social totem pole, just like they're here in the U.S., just like here in the U.S. You dig me? So they lean Republican, and you still wind up with a strong ass black vote. But slowly they were diluting that shit. Now Donald Trump is sending people back. And he, in a sense, restoring the power of the black vote. We never lost that much power, but he's strengthening the black vote just by sending back a bunch of people that would have probably wound up voting Republican. I mean, if you are engaged in the game, the political game, if you're engaged in the game, that's kind of what's happening. I always said the black vote a lot of times determines who sits in the chair. Because we could either swing one way or the other way by 10 or 15%, and we can make a huge difference in a national election. A lot of black men just stayed the fuck home this time. Instead of voting for Kamala Harris, we stayed home. Had that, 10 or so percent of black people came out and voted for Kamala Harris, it might have pushed her ass over the top, or at least helped her along. It would have went a long way towards helping her. Truth be told, she probably lost anyway on this one, but it wouldn't have been, as bad as it turned out. But I'm going to leave that one alone too, because that's water under the bridge. But what they are doing for the midterm election, by sending a lot of these people back, is strengthening the black vote. That's how I look at it. If you're going to play the political fucking game. Because that's all it is. I mean, when Donald Trump's president, dude, I think is going to sink to an approval level that's so bad until they're going to have to start a war or something to get his approval level out the basement, out the low 30s, I believe. And Donald Trump is all about his approval ratings. That shit going to be in the toilet. Who was it I was talking to? I think it was my daughter. No, it wasn't my daughter. It was my coworker. She doesn't think Donald Trump is gonna make it through the next 4 years. I think I said so in another video, but I think Donald Trump gonna be there. But he's just gonna be so beat down at the end of it until it's gonna be like, he gonna be like Joe Biden at the end of his term. His cabinet and his vice president and his chief of staff and all them people, they're going to be running the country. He'll make a speech, make an appearance here and there, but that's who's going to be running the country by the time Trump's term is over. And it's going to be bad. Don't get it twisted. Project 2025 will be there. Donald Trump will be on the golf course. And his cabinet, his department heads, they will have changed over a couple times. If you go by the way it went the last time, you dig me? Shit. It'd be old heads like me who sit back in the cut and watch the shit play out. Ain't that right, Ziggy? Yeah, Ziggy back there getting it together. But yeah. So, keep your head up. The next election is very important. It really is. If you're engaged in the game, that is. On some real shit though, local elections and statewide elections, they are very important. They do affect your life. They really do. The national game, though, that's the one I'm talking about. Because all politics is local. It really is. Your school board election, your state legislature, your county election, your city council, all that shit. That's right where you live at. Yeah, that's important, yes. But the national election, it's a much bigger game. Y'all seen Donald Trump and Barack Obama laughing and talking at Jimmy Carter's funeral? What did George Carlin say? It's a big club and you ain't in it. You dig me? But by them shipping people out the country, right? Because the people from a lot of the African countries that are being deported, they voted Republican too. A lot of them. If you listen to them talk, they straight conservative values and all of that. Because they don't know. And a lot of them was voting Republican, but now they getting shipped out. And who's that all leaving? That's leaving 45 million American black people who could still swing an election one way or the other, depending on whether we stay home or we come out and we get behind one candidate. Truth be told, I said this before, truth be told, we probably should start looking into forming our own party, but that's been tried before. I ain't saying it won't work, but it has been tried before. A lot of people come up with reasons why we shouldn't, but hey, what did Donald Trump say? What do you got to lose? We ain't got nothing to lose by looking into, at least exploring, unifying and forming a party. But black in unity, it's kind of hard to put that shit together, isn't it? But that's the only way. That's the only way we can survive this purge that's going on. Because who you think Donald Trump gonna really start fucking with if his deportation plan goes the way he wants it to go? Who do you think is next? We are. But like I said before, we are the only ones he can't kick out the country. Our thing would be to not allow ourselves to be forced into second-class citizenship. You dig me? And you do that by having political power, buying up motherfucking politicians, you know what I'm saying, forming political action committees, all that. Because that's the only thing politicians understand. But anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Keep your eye on the next election. Be ready to get your ass out there and do what you got to do. Thanks for coming by and listening to me talk my shit. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. TC, and I'm out. Peace.